It is 7 o'clock.
Anyway.
Call the meeting to order.
Have the sheriff's folks that are
Yes, they're all invited.
let's see.
Mr. Martin, Sheriff Martin, come join us.
Supervisor Simon comes up.
Come, Mr. Supervisor Simon. Let's,
Loki,
He said he tries to take photos.
all right. Good evening to everybody. I'd like to call meeting order. Miss Lisa, would you be happy with some
Bad back.
bad back? Okay, well.
Dan, I'll lead.
We'll do it.
Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance.
Thank you, Joshua.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
Matt, the reading of the mission statement.
Oh, sorry, missed that.
Middletown area town hall was formed to operate as a true town hall with everyone participating and voting. However, county officials required us to elect a board to conform with other county advisory committees. Our bylaws specify that the board makes decisions based on the vote of everyone present. The board encourages all members to give their opinions and vote on every matter before the assembly.
All right. Now, has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Or do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? Greg did, okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion carried. Okay, correspondence, I did not have any on the,
Okay.
this time. Committee reports. Michael, aren't you,
No, I don't have any.
you don't have it?
I have just something on Trailside Park. It's not a committee report, but I don't want to do it
Oh, we're
during
doing
the
it
open public
meeting?
comment.
Yeah,
All right.
public comment. Go for it.
Okay, public comment. Two things. First, I have some guests that came up from New Jersey, Minnesota, Los Angeles, and Hawaii. I'd like to introduce Frank Morales. Raise your hand, Frank. He's kind of slow. And Hayward Nishioka, Tom Sebasti, and Osmel Milan. They'll be here for a few days, and I'm going to take them around the country and show them around. It's very nice to have them here, and thank them for coming. Public input on Trailside Park. Have anybody been out there lately? It's fantastic what they've done there at the entry. They've just done a good job. And when they finish that whole Dry Creek cutoff, that's going to change the look of the park completely. So if you have time, go by and tell Tino a good job, because that makes them feel good, and we should take time to thank them for their hard work.
Yeah, can I, on the same subject?
Sure. I don't, Maskin.
Same subject, there was a meeting of the Parks Advisory Committee yesterday, and there were at least 3 of us, 4, that were there. And actually, the Parks Advisory Committee, it's the first time they've met in 2 years. But some pretty impressive people on there that, know what they're talking about as far as architecture and parks. And I don't think any conclusions were drawn other than what we've talked about. Hey, we kind of want to let it natural. We went out there and took a walk in the park, not much of a walk, but a little bit of a walk. But Larson, our public service, public works director, he's kind of an open book on the thing at this point. So it's an ongoing process. But we do have, like you mentioned, that the people that are working out there are essentially, as far as the county is concerned, are free. It's still taxpayer money, but it's coming from the state. And it's funding, it's the Human Development Department, I think, Labor Department, something like that, that's big money into this. He's just going like mad out there, cleaning it up, and apparently he's got a lot more of that money available that can be put into that park, labor-wise.
Labor.
And they're talking about also fencing the park. That's something that came up. They're talking about fencing the park. Well, try to envision that. We've got the labor, no cost to the county. Then the subject came up to put up a split rail fence around the park. There's plenty of wood to split out there and they make rails out of it. So anyway, that's just a report on what happened to them.
Is there another meeting scheduled anytime?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it was October? That was a Parks Advisory Committee.
Yeah. But it's,
No, I don't have it with me. I think
Yeah,
it's,
believe
I
it
think
was-
it's in October.
Yeah, I believe it was
okay,
October.
I'll get with Lars and
Yeah,
check
it's,
it.
it's in Lakeport.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right, it's in Lakeport.
Any other public comment? Go for it, Michael.
Okay, I'm going to indulge in some shameless promotion, but it is also a public service announcement, so it serves the interest of the greater good. So one of the aspirations I have for Middletown is that I live in a safe, beautiful, and clean community. And towards that end, for almost a year now, I've been gathering trash from the streets of Middletown. Maybe some of you have probably seen me. And I want to give you an update on that effort. So you wouldn't believe what you could find on the streets of Middletown. Ladies and gentlemen, there is cash out there on the streets of Middletown. And, but I'm not in this for the money, and you heard it here first. What I've been finding is that I get to connect with the earth and the community. And people are generally very appreciative and supportive when they see you doing this. And I ran across an 8-year-old young lady and her mother, and the youngster asked me, why are you picking up trash? And I replied to her, I said, this is what happens to you when you don't listen to your parents, do your homework, make good grades in school. But that's enough of that. Okay, this Saturday there's going to be a group effort to clean up. I call it a litter roundup, 1 to 3, and at 1:45, meet at Hardesters, and I will equip you with a litter stick, trash bags courtesy of Hardesters, and I'll give you a route. 1 o'clock this Saturday.
Yeah. Any further public comment? Sorry? Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to let everyone know that the movie in the park is this Saturday night. It'll probably start around 9 when it gets dark, but we do encourage you to go to your favorite restaurant. Ask them if they have a movie night special. Bring your dinner to the park and just enjoy visiting with your neighbors before the meeting or before the movie. And we're going to be watching Monster Trucks.
Yeah, the Middletown Arts Center, Lisa Kaplan from the Middletown Arts Center. We were awarded a beautiful grant from the California Arts Council. It's a competitive grant to offer our program called Resilience, which is a year-long project with classes in photography, first week of each month, poetry, spoken word, any kind of creative writing, second week of the month, painting, third week of the month, and drawing and print making, fourth week of the month. These are really high-quality classes, and they only cost $5 for 5 hours. That's what the grant was for, is to subsidize the cost of the classes. We invite everybody to come and attend. At the end of the year, we'll have exhibits countywide of work that was produced in our workshops, as well as a chapbook, which is a self-published book of poems and images. We're very grateful to the California Arts Council for choosing our project. Resilience is inspired by nature and by what we're witnessing as we all recover from the fire. We're witnessing nature recovering in the most remarkable way. I'm sure you've all noticed it. And the idea is to use nature as a model for our own recovery and resilience. So I welcome everybody to come, and it's for ages 12 through adults. So if you know a teen or if you have a friend who writes, please have them come to some of our classes, somebody who likes to paint or who wants to experiment with printmaking or photography. We're really providing a framework for understanding how to translate the beauty that you see with your eyes onto paper, onto the page, onto canvas, through all of these various media. So please, please, please send people to us, www.middletownartcenter.org. I have these cards here if you want to take one home. Again, like if you know somebody, even if you don't want to do it yourself, but you know somebody who you think would enjoy, please take a card. We're very grateful and honored to be able to offer this program. Thank you.
Okay. Any other further public comments? Okay. Moving on, Mazzarelli, your update.
For those who know, I'm Bob Mastrelli, the Community Development Director. Last month, we talked about the Gwinnett Valley project. And I said that I'm going to come every month to give you an update of the status of that project and to answer any questions that you might have. And I said I'll be here even if I don't have anything to report. And frankly, tonight, I really don't have anything to report. We don't have an application in yet. We have had discussions with the applicant, talking about the process and the procedures and how things are going to be done. And we do expect things to start happening in the next month or two. On our staff side, we are in the process of hiring 2 people that will be assigned to manage this project. We expect those to be filled in the next 4 weeks. One lady is projected to start on Monday. There might be some delays on that, but we have a person coming on board of that. Second person, we're waiting to get a start date, but anticipate that to be very soon. So on the staffing side, we're prepared for that. So again, I don't have any details. I do want to, answer any questions, or are there rumors going around? What are those rumors? If I could answer those. If there's questions about the process, I'll be glad to answer those.
You did a good job last month.
All right.
Can I ask a question? Yesterday when we were in the parks meeting thing, was brought up that most large developments have to throw money into the community for to help with the parks and stuff like that. Has that been discussed during the process yet, or is that like way too early? Or do they build their own park, or?
Yes, answer all your questions, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, there is requirements on the code about contributions to a park fund for the development of parks. So that will be considered. Yes, there's a requirement for open space and recreation to be part of the project, so that will be considered. But yes, it's too early because until we see it. We do anticipate at the end of this process there will be a developer's agreement. And that developer's agreement will spell out all the improvements that need to be done and how it's going to be paid for, talking about the scheduling and things and stuff like that. So a lot of the questions like that will be spelled out in the developer's agreement. Okay. Again, I'll be here. I'm going to come every month, give you an update on what's going on. As we get more information, we'll share that information with you. We are in the process of changing our website, and my intention is to have a link on the website for this particular project. So when the application comes in, when the information comes in, there will be a link that you can go to and look at the information. That is not active right now. We're in a transition from an old website to a new website. Got a lot of things I got to deal with, and so that's just one of my long list. But that's our intention, is to have that ready for you. So again, I'll look forward to seeing you next month.
Is there anyone from Lotus Land here for a report? Oh, yeah. Randy Sternberg was scheduled to be here, but as you know, he's on vacation, I think. And he said somebody from Lotus Land may come and give us an update. Are you from Lotus Land? Are you prepared to?
Yes, as Bob said,
Come on up here so we can all see you and hear you if you want to throw something.
And introduce yourself.
Yes, please.
I am Ibrahim Mahalati from Lotus Land. Again, we're still in the process of filling in the applications, getting everything in line and worked out to move forward. It's still really early, but we're happy to be here and looking forward to being involved and letting you guys know but we find out as we get along with it.
And the conversations we've had with them about the application and what is needed in that application, and there's a lot of information and there's a lot of moving parts to that. And so they're not sharing any information with me. So I know that they're working on it in their process. And as soon as it becomes available to me, I'll make it available to everybody else. And so I know there's a lot of work being done because we've talked about a lot of different topics, everything from recreation to transportation, to water supply, to fire protection, to lot size and buildings and road crossings, everything. I mean, it's amazing how many different parts is to this. So they're working very, very hard on that. And we'll have to wait, hopefully just a relatively short time that we'll be able to start seeing some ideas and concepts that will be coming out on this.
What is your name again?
Eve?
Abe.
Yeah.
Abe will do it, huh? Okay. All right, thank you, Abe.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any questions?
Can I ask, just this is off the subject of development out there, the Cyclops system?
Yes.
Programming, permitting system, how's that?
Okay, the question concerns Cyclops. A Cyclops stands for County of Lake Land Use Permitting System. And we are in the process of creating activating a new software permitting program. It is, I'll admit, it's several months behind schedule because we've run into a whole series of technical issues. We have actually started what we call a soft go live on the code enforcement side. And very shortly that will be open to the public, that you can actually go online to make code enforcement complaints and see the status of the complaints. Actually, what they've shown me that they've just been able to get activated, the code enforcement officer will have an iPad, and the iPad actually shows a map of the location of every complaint. So when they go out in the field, they'll be able to actually see on the map where to go next, to the shortest distance to save time and things. They'll be able to click on the icon, and it gives you all the information about the complaint, the location, what the complaint is, and things like that. So that we're in the beta testing phase of that. On the building permit side, there was an issue about some fees and not working within the system. I think I got an email today, this afternoon, that said it's been taken care of. So we expect the building permit side, at least partially, to go soft live. Now again, that's not for the general public, but we are working with about 5 contractors that will use it to help us beta test it and things. The third component is dealing with the planning permits, rezonings, use permits, development permits, things like that. That when we purchased the software, that we did not include the modification of that. On Tuesday, the Board of Supervisors approved a contract with another firm that is going to come in and fix all that part. And it should just take a couple of weeks to get that. And again, we'll go soft live, test it out. My anticipation is Cyclops will be fully functional and for the public to work with within the next 60 days. And we'll make sure that we advertise extensively. The advantage is that you'll be able to apply for permits at home. You're not going to have to come up to Lakeport and handle it. We have one problem is we want to be able to use credit cards on that. And I'm not going to blame the Board of Supervisors, as other elected officials of the county, that's a roadblock. And they're working on a policy on how we're going to do that. Not the sheriff. Not the sheriff. Not these guys. It's a couple other elected officials, but we're working on it. And so we'll hopefully get that going. And everything will be paperless. So application comes in, it's when you go to your architect, they'll give you a disk or a thumb drive. It's uploaded into our system, and everything's paperless. We can pass things around, and we improve our efficiencies a great deal. We don't have to have filing cabinets to store everything. Everything will be stored on the cloud. In fact, we're scanning all our documents now to put them in the cloud. And so everything will be electronic. And so you will be able to go, again, sitting at home, you'll be able to look at your application, see exactly where it is in the process,
what the status is. I will be able to get a report anytime I want, to give me where the projects are and where are they in the timeline. What's the staff person responsible for that? If I see delays going on, I can go immediately to that staff person. Okay, what's the problem? How do we fix this? So I'll be able to better manage the process of processing your permit applications. So we're really excited about this program, and I really can't wait to get it up and running so that you can make your job, make your interaction with the community development department a lot easier.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll see you next month.
Okay, great. Okay. The Sheriff Martin, please.
Thank you. So I'm here to announce our National Night Out, which is going to be on August 1st this year. National Night Out is an annual event. Lake County's been hosting one for several years, but typically it's Lakeport Police Department that hosts it in Lakeport, and I wanted to bring it elsewhere in the county. I thought Middletown was a great place to do that. National Night Out is an annual event to bring together communities and law enforcement and first responders to heighten crime and drug prevention awareness, generate support for and participation in local anti-crime efforts, and strengthen the neighborhood spirit and police-community partnerships. That's the party line. My own take on it is this is a great time to get out and meet your first responders and for us to meet you. Answer any questions you might have. Bring the kids on down. We're going to cook up some hot dogs. The event will be held at the Cal Pine Visitor Center outside the parking lot. We're not going to do it here. We're not going to do it here. And we're also going to invite several other agencies. I have a soft commitment from the Boys and Girls Scouts to come out. I'm going to get a bounce house. We're going to be seeking donations to help pay for the soft drinks and the hot dogs. And I see my friends from CAL FIRE here. I'm about to reach out to them and see if they can bring some fire apparatus down if they're not busy, because it's August 1st. So they might be busy, but hopefully they'll be available. So again, a great night just to come out and meet the law enforcement and firefighters that serve your communities. A good time to interact with the kids. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to be kicking off the Pink Patch Project. That'll be the first night of sales for Sheriff's Office patches. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and in recognition of that, in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I'm authorizing our deputy sheriffs to wear patches that everything that's gold on here will be pink, and the green background will be black, a fluorescent pink. We're going to be offering those patches for sale at $10 a piece, and the profits from that are going to go to the Sutter Lakeside Foundation to fund help fund a cancer navigator position. It's a position that is basically going to be funded by grants because insurance companies won't pay for somebody to be a coach when somebody has to go through cancer treatment programs, and they want to bring that position on. And I thought this was a great way to help them with their efforts. So that will be the first night that we have these pink patches for sale. You'll see deputies wearing them during the month of October, and if you see what they're wearing, you'll know that's what it's for. Any questions? The event's free, open to the public. I hope to see you there. Yes, Margaret.
The other thing you said, the National Night Out, where do you send donations to? Just to the sheriff's office?
Yes.
Sheriff's Department?
Gloria Pulido is the point of contact for that. Her email address is Gloria, Gloria, .Pulido, Pulido, at lakecountyca.gov. If you want to get a hold of me directly, you can get a hold of me directly. My cell phone number is 707-367-2601.
And what time does it begin?
It's at 6 p.m. is when it starts.
And the date? All right.
August 1st.
August 1st.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sheriff Martin. Okay, the next one, location of the Valley Fire Memorial.
I'm gonna like to table that till July.
Table?
Motion to table.
Motion.
Motion, yes, motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Hearing none? Okay, table. Okay, process for authorizing the chairman to speak on behalf of the community.
Behalf of Matt.
Math, I should say, yes. Math, the group of math. We've had a little confusion in a couple of events here, and so what I wanted to do is reiterate how the process works. And basically, the process is to get on the agenda, and how you can do that in a couple of different ways. Talk to one of the board members, email the mathtownhall@gmail.com. We'll get back to you and get it scheduled on the agenda. Just as these events have come up, when it gets on the agenda, you state your motion, what you're looking to accomplish and what the motion's about. Then we have a discussion. At the end, the person bringing the motion or issue to the board here, or to the public, is to restate their motion and what they want to do with it from there. So if it's, hey, we want you to represent our views at a particular meeting, so be it. If I'm not available to do it, we'll get one of the other board members to do the presentation there. So I just want to make sure that we do this properly. If you have a subject that is going to take has several different parts to it, there will have to be a motion for each of the parts. So if there's a permit, something else goes along, you got to keep it flowing. None of the board people are going to get up and just, unless they want to speak on their own to a certain subject, they are going to get up and speak on behalf of math to a certain, wherever it is, whether it's planning board supervisors, whatever it happens to be, okay? So I just want to make sure that we do follow this, because it sounded like in the last few months there was some issues brought up, and I want to make sure that everybody understands we're here to help and report to our supervisor, to the planning commission, whatever the motion is made, we'll get it addressed. So with that, any questions?
Well,
Yes, sir.
So who makes the decision to authorize the board member or the chairman of the board to stand up and speak for math?
The assembly.
The assembly.
I think you're making a big mistake.
That's been the way the rules have been since 2006. We
What
take
it
a
amounts
vote.
to is it's mob rule. You get a bunch of people in here who have a particular item they're upset about or concerned about, and they're making a lot of noise, and wrong term, but they're, being very vocal about it.
Passionate.
And now, in order for somebody on the board to speak on behalf of everybody, I believe you should have a vote, a majority vote of the board. And because that's what you're elected for. You're knowledgeable about the community.
The
You're
current
knowledgeable
bylaws.
about the subject, hopefully, and you represent everybody, not just the people that have a particular issue. And that's my concern. It's just that it's not, well, somebody's being very vocal about something. Well, okay, well, the board as a group should say, yeah, we're
Okay.
going to speak to this
I hear
because
what you're saying.
our knowledge of the community and the fact that we've been to every meeting and listened to this particular problem issue. That's my opinion. I think that's important to have a vote that yes, the board and or a member of the board is going to speak on behalf of MAP, which is everybody in the room.
Fletcher?
We've talked about that, and we talked about it when we wrote the bylaws, and that's never been a problem. We talked also about people being able to come in one meeting and vote on election of people, and we didn't want to put a lot of restrictions on where people have to come to 5 meetings and sit with their facing north in order to vote. We didn't want to do that. The only restrictions is people have to come if they want to be on the board. They have to go to so many meetings and so on. We've never really had a problem where we had someone that brought in 50 people and voted on an issue that many of the assembly didn't agree with, the people that come all the time. We've never had that problem. And we may have a problem like that someday, and I think that we can handle it when it comes, but we've tried to be as open and as easy to deal with as we can be. For instance, we tell young people they can come and vote. They can't come and vote for board members and so on, but we want to make it easy for young people to come and to take part in the town hall and learn what the town hall is about, so that they know they have a platform from which they can express their opinions about anything. And we've tried not to inhibit that at all if we can do it. We just haven't had that problem yet. We have
Sounds
some
like a lot of
passionate people on some issues.
That was my concern.
Yeah, there's passionate people on some issues, but that's the nature of the town hall. You know, people don't come to the town hall to be bored. They have an issue they want to speak to, and they get passionate. And I've been on both ends of that passion. So, and I don't see any reason to change personally at this point.
Also, if they took the time to come to the meeting, and they come, the motion carries, say we'd like Math to represent, we do take the vote, and if there's a few that disagree, we note that too. But we will tell it as the assembly wanted us to approach it. Now, again, if I personally have an issue with whatever it is, I'll step back and ask one of the other board members to take it on. There's nothing wrong with that. But if people have taken the time to come and voice their opinion and all that, they should have a right to ask us to represent them at whatever function happens to be. Go ahead, Lisa, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I know that the mission statement was read at the beginning, but it also just specifies that the Middletown area town hall, while it's an advisory committee, needs to have a board, but that the board makes decisions based on a vote of everyone present. And the board encourages all members to give their opinions and vote on every member before assembly. It's not our job to make those kind of decisions. So we're also an informed advisory capacity.
Downside, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Chris.
I just would like to respectfully disagree that that's never been an issue, and I do see his point, and I think it's a valid point. There are arguments on both sides of that are valid. I think it's important that we represent not just the people who show up here or the people who with the loudest voice, but if somebody can't show up at the meeting because it's a single mother who's working all day, we should still respect them, that they have a voice in this community.
Absolutely, and they do have ways of communicating with us that message.
Yes, but it's not strictly, if you show up here, you get a voice, and if you don't, then
Yeah,
you don't.
no. Yes, ma'am.
I'd also like to point out that our supervisor is very rarely absent from these meetings. His phone number is out there, and you're always welcome to call him and let him know what you think on any subject. If you feel like the meeting gets loaded up for the vote and that's a bogus vote, you can call him and let him know.
Any further?
I would just comment on one thing, and that is the board members voting on an issue. The problem with the voting on an issue, it puts the board members in a position where they can't speak as individuals. Right now, we can all, we're board members, yes, but we're also members of the town hall, and we have the freedom to speak on any issue that we want to speak on. If you're representing the people, and we have to do what they tell you to do, and you have the authority to override their wishes, then it puts you in a position where it's very difficult for you to speak as an individual and as a board member.
Any other comments?
I would just like to add to what Fletcher had said. First, I want to apologize for my tardiness. However, my home is here and I was laying flooring and I didn't realize the time, so I apologize for that.
I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, it's really exciting. But I just want to say the same thing, that when we formed our town hall, it was really important that everyone had a say, and that just because we're up here as board members, we don't have any more say than everyone out there, or any more power for that matter. But we needed to have somebody that would go and represent the whole group. And so having board members that if one can't, then another one can kind of thing, designated people, that was the purpose of that as well. So it really is whatever the majority, including board members, whatever the majority votes on, that's the way the assembly goes. And like Greg was saying, if you have a different opinion, I think it was Barbara, we do have our supervisor here, and you're welcome to call him anytime. He says that over and over and over again. So I just want to say that as well.
One person can also write letters to
Yeah.
math book to
That's
them.
right, that's right. We got a
Right.
mail address and an email, and we do check it regularly.
And people can call us. If you can't make the meeting and you have an opinion about something that's coming up, we can say, so-and-so called, they weren't able to come, but their vote would be this on this issue. We can do that as well. That's part of our job as board members.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So I just wanted to add to that about if people cannot come to a meeting because of transportation issues or work issues or whatever. That it's very nice if there's some kind of written communication. Telephone is fine, but written communication is, can be shown to people.
Exactly.
This
It
is what
backs
people
up. Yeah.
are thinking, as opposed to, well, I heard from 15
Yeah.
or 20 or 24, a whole bunch of people said that they feel this way, which there's just no way to validate that.
Right.
Really, so writing is really nice way to express your opinion.
So once again, and I'll close this out real quick, it's been the same procedure since the founding of math in 2006. Bring up your issue to get it on the agenda to any of the board. We'll get a hold of me or whoever who's in charge at the time. Since next month it'll be Miss Linda Darms because I'll be out of state. But anyways, we'll get it on the agenda at some point. Sometimes we got like in August we have a congressman coming, so that probably that month won't have a whole lot of things going on. But in any case, we will get it on as fast as possible, have the discussion, make the motion of what you're looking to have accomplished, and then we'll have a vote. If everybody's agreeable to whatever your motion is, that's fine. If they defeat it, then you can always revisit it again. So I just want to make sure everybody understands how the process works and that nobody's trying to shut anybody down.
For the sake of clarification, when we wrote the bylaws, the idea was that we would report to the supervisor of our district, and he would express the wishes of the assembly to the board of supervisors. Supervisor Comstock felt it would be better if the board had a spokesman there so that the supervisor wasn't involved. Now, I don't know whether Moak wants to change that and report to him and let him speak for math, or whether he wants to continue the way we've been. We haven't talked about that.
Nope, haven't asked him. The way it's been working is fine. I think if the majority votes and, the president should get up there as far as math and make his suggestions, or at least report what happened at the math meetings. I think that's the best way. He's the spokesperson for the board, and that's the way it should be. Simple motion should be made. We want you to go say this. This is the vote that was taken. Go up there and do your job.
As it is.
Do your job.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I have one more thing. I also want to say that, that we are the town hall and we do have votes and we do have a representative that goes to speak to the Board of Supervisors. But I think it's really important to also understand and know that we don't see the bigger picture that the board may see, the Board of Supervisors. So because math may feel a certain way about something, it does not mean that our supervisor has to go with what the vote of math is. We are just advising that this is what the community said, and I think that's really important to always keep in mind because they see a much larger picture than we do. So I just wanted to say that.
Okay, and with that, no further comments, we'll move to the next subject. Michael.
Facebook.
We skipped Linda, but I can go.
No,
I'll
Linda
go.
wasn't here
Okay,
at the time,
so
so it's.
I'm gonna
We'll
download
come back to
everything I know about
Okay.
Facebook, and this should take about a minute. I want to talk about two features of Facebook. First, I want to talk about, part one is talk about the difference between a Facebook page and a group Facebook page. And then the second part, I want to talk a little bit about cover photos and why they're important. So, a group Facebook page provides a platform whereby members can participate in a non-hierarchical discussion. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's say Linda Darms over here wants to organize a math membership gathering at the brewery. So she posts a time and a date, and then she adds a comment that, let me pick a name, Fletcher Thornton's going to buy pizzas. All right?
Yay!
So Mo Steiner reads that, and he goes, I kind of like that, especially the part about Fletcher paying for my pizza. So he clicks like, and then he comments that maybe Claude Brown should cover the bar tab for the gathering.
I am the bar tab.
Okay, one more, and then Marlene Elder looks at it and she says, I like that, I'll bring a movie. Now, a regular Facebook page is more like a broadcasting platform. It's to promote a brand, a service, or a product. And what I envision is that we update the community and the membership on events that are going on, like my litter roundup, or we could post the agenda, or if there's a very relevant article on Laco News, we could link to her post or her website, and that would appear on the Facebook page. So there's going to be a decision on whether you want to go with a group page or just a regular Facebook page, just for broadcasting and promoting our town hall. Now, a little bit about cover photos. I looked at the Cobb Area Council Facebook page, and they have a photo on towards the left. There's a pile of harvested logs from the fire, and as you pan to the right towards the center, you'll see some dead black trees in the foreground. In the background, the rolling hills of the trees that survived. And our member of Congress has a Facebook page, and it's very nicely done. His cover photo is a mosaic of images, all right, and there's some vibrant colors, and it's nicely done. You see a vineyard, you see a water scene, you see, I think it's the Culinary Institute of America at night, or maybe it's a downtown image of Napa. And then there's also, it looks like an image of the Golden Gate Bridge, which is a bit of a stretch because I don't believe that's in the 5th Congressional District. But what I'm looking for is, I would need some ideas on what the math membership would like for a cover photo, because that's basically the first thing your eyes see when you go to a page.
Well, hang on a second here, because you're getting a little ahead.
Okay.
We haven't approved anything yet, so,
right.
okay, I know what you'd like to see. The issue I've got, and then I'm gonna ask right out, is how you thought of managing this.
Well, I can help me out a little bit on this. I can manage it where maybe one or two people are the only people who can post items. If people who know more about this, help me out a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, you can make it so that anybody can post, or you can make it so that people post and you have to authorize it and allow it to be posted on the page.
You have to screen your get copyrighted, and somebody will get in and you can't get rid of whatever the posting is. And these things have a tendency to spiral quick.
Okay. What exactly is it like then an admin only page?
That means that only you can post. Only
Okay.
the people who are administrators can post.
So maybe that would be the way to go.
Yeah, and then people can message you and say, I'd like to post this, and you can say yes or no.
That's what the mama page is.
So is Mac. We do it the same way.
Okay, I'll be able. I would just do a Google and say, how do I become an administrator on a Facebook page? I haven't gone through that process yet.
You just create a page. I can help you with that.
So, it gets easier, yeah.
Okay, I can submit a motion.
I'm sorry?
You want me to submit a motion on this?
You got the issue.
Okay, I move that we establish a Facebook admin page for the purposes of promoting our town hall and local events.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
The discussion first.
Okay, discussion?
It's not an action item.
What?
It's not an action item.
No, it is not an
No,
action
we
item.
don't have any.
Well, I have a couple, I've seen Facebook that worked well, and I've seen Facebook that was absolutely horrendous, and absolutely, you mentioned some things that can be posted on and what it can do. It can also do negative things. And I just want to make sure that someone responsible with the set of guidelines from this body was monitoring the Facebook page for Matt. I think we ought to have a set of guidelines, if you're going to be the administrator, set of guidelines. What can you and what can you not put on as part of Matt?
I think that's a great idea.
I mean, we don't need, the guidelines will keep you from having to bring everything to each meeting and say,
Right.
hey, I want to post this, I want to post that, I want to post this. Yes, sir.
Well, to me, it becomes fairly simple that we keep it as clean and simply a page versus a discussion.
Absolutely.
It needs to be simply an informational hub.
Yeah,
that-
exactly.
That posts agendas, what's coming up, contact emails for board members so that they can be, you can be reached out to for that interaction discussion. And just keep it more of an informational piece that people can click and like, and as things come up and post to the page, will feed into their algorithm so that it comes up and say, the next math meeting is on such and such a date at this time. The litter cleanup is on such and such a date at this time. And I think if we simply keep it an informational page for items that are off of our agenda, that we can turn around and post there, that will simplify that process very quickly.
I would ask the maker of the motion if he would accept a friendly amendment to allow for a review by or a set of guidelines from this body at some time in the future before we move forward with this. I approve it. I'm in favor of it, but those guidelines have to be in
No,
place
I
first.
absolutely agree with you on that.
So can it be on the agenda for next time as an action item?
Sure.
And we'll do guidelines?
Absolutely.
Could we maybe set up to discuss the guidelines and let him kind of lay out a little something, just kind of to get, so that we could see then.
You guys know
I
more about
think
it
we're
than I do.
making maybe a bigger deal out of this. It needs to be, and we could trust Mike to kind of lay the framework so that everybody then would be able to go and see it, and we could have a discussion about it where people could see the Facebook page.
It being the guidelines.
Well,
Yes,
yeah, I
guidelines.
mean, you know, next month we can talk about the guidelines, but, you know, maybe this month you could go establish a Facebook page and, you know, put the agenda for, the agenda for next month on there and a couple basic little things to keep it real simple. And that way, when we go to discuss it, it's there, people can go and look at it and see what are their
For the
thoughts.
agenda. You could post the agenda.
And we move forward a little bit, you know.
Okay.
So I would suggest that if people are looking for guidelines, that we bring guidelines for next time as our homework, so to speak. You know, like if you have ideas like, no businesses, only community events or something like that, then bring that to the table, whatever it is, you know, only the agenda, no discussion, whatever. Just bring that to the table next time so we can get this over with, because it's really pretty simple, actually.
And I'd like it to be an action item so it can be voted on next time, please.
Okay. So you got a motion, you got a second.
No, and you have
Discussion.
an amendment. Does the maker of the motion accept the
Yes.
friendly amendment? And make a motion to accept the amendments first.
Restate your motion.
No.
Well,
The
there's-
the amendment to the motion is that it be, the guidelines be put forth.
Restate your motion.
Okay, I guess the next step is I move that we establish a set of guidelines for a math Facebook page
Yeah, that's fine.
for the purposes of promoting our town hall and local events.
Perfect.
That it be put on the agenda for July.
I'll second that. if it needs to be said.
Okay, we all got it?
Yeah.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Any objections? Okay, so move next. Okay, next item, action items, adopt math projects.
Back to Linda. We need to go back to Linda, we skipped her.
Because she wasn't here.
She wasn't here.
Well, I'm here now.
You're here now.
And I'm on the agenda.
You missed your chance.
Go for it, real quick.
So we were talking about, or I've noticed that sometimes, because we're all very passionate about certain things that come up for us in our community, that sometimes we aren't very courteous when we are interacting with each other. And I feel like it's really important, and Lisa and I collaborated, and we came up with 5 things, and we'd like some feedback, but we'd like these to be the guidelines with how we conduct ourselves in these town halls. So the first one is respect everyone's right to voice their opinion. The second one is listen and hear with an open mind and respect while others are speaking, even if you disagree. So to listen and have an open mind and be respectful, even if you don't agree with what they're saying. Presenting problems is okay, but please also provide possible solutions. Number 4 is consider ways to compromise and bridge differences. And number 5 is understand that we can agree to disagree, but we'll need to move forward in a productive manner, and this may take some time. So, feedback's always good, but we thought that that was a good start for having some kind of structure around how we interact with each other. So does anybody have anything to say? Yes.
I think you're kind of addressing what happened last week, and I think all the emotional energy was focused at, well, okay, he wasn't here. But yeah, I mean, because I was caught off guard by, that whole supervisor vote and everything else. And then, a lot of the folks, they just came in, with that attitude. And I don't know, I mean, I think what you're saying is right. But people are going to be emotional, and they are going to suddenly care about this community in one way or another.
Sure.
And it's, I don't know. I mean, it's how they're brought up, I think, these days. So I agree with you, what you're saying. And I don't know how we're going to buffer that and get the folks who don't show up regularly to feel the same way. I think Fletcher, he takes a lot of the heat for stuff like that, for better or worse. So, yeah.
One of the ways that we were thinking of doing that is just the same as that we read the mission statement, is to create these as agreements and to read the agreements as well, so that no matter when you come or how many times you come, these agreements are reiterated at the beginning of the meeting.
What are you going to do, have everybody sign an agreement?
No.
You just speak it.
Okay, that's fine, yeah.
It's just courtesy things, and maybe just reminding people in the beginning of every meeting, because people are passionate, that's why we're here. I'm passionate. Everybody here is passionate. And sometimes things come up and emotions are triggered. But to also remember to be respectful with each other and be courteous and let someone finish their sentence and not use foul language or point fingers at people. We're all here and we care about our community, and that's the bottom line. So.
Any further discussion?
I appreciate that being voiced and being voiced at every meeting. I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. That, okay. Now we'll go to adopt the projects, which we have a list here somewhere.
Mr. Chairman.
Go for it.
This is just to designate which projects we're interested in. No discussion on the projects, or we'll be here till midnight.
Yeah.
Okay?
So, there's 10 basic projects that I don't know if y'all seen the list and that, but looking at which ones we want to focus on the rest of this year.
Number 10's a moot point since they did it themselves.
Yeah, I think so. Isn't it? Thank you.
Do what?
Number 10 is already taken
Yeah.
care of.
You want me to go through them, Mr. Chairman?
Sure, would you?
Number 1, Valley Fire Memorial. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Sign for Senior Center. That falls within the purview of the county, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, so No. The only thing we can do there is encourage the county to spend some money.
Well heard.
Water feature in Middletown Square Park, negative.
No, we don't have the water for that.
Well, not only that, but that creates
Vandalism is
all
the
kinds of problems, so, in my opinion.
How does the body feel about that? Same? Okay, go.
Okay, arch at Middletown Square Park. Arch meaning the entrance, making a rock or some kind of an arch. Marlene, right?
Right, I was, talking to Joe about it, I need to get back with him, but I misplaced his
Joe
number.
Filber?
Yeah, so I need to check that. What we've been doing is whenever we have events or holidays, we have to basically create temporary arches.
Yeah, I know.
And it would be nice to have nice permanent arches that are attractive.
So you're talking on the two entrances at the, that come
On the
up?
highway,
Has-
yeah.
Has everyone seen the Anderson Springs entry? Well, Joe Filber designed and built that. And he's quite an artist, as you all know, with metal. And metal would be the way to go rather than rock and wood and all that, so.
Well, we were going to try and match the arches that are in front of the community center, but that's cost prohibitive. So we need to find another.
So is that a project we want to put? Yes, okay, yes.
Yes, I would say yes.
Paint curbs.
Wasn't it shut down for money already?
What?
No, it was a arch going over to the Main Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what's the
Yes.
thing on the arches?
Yes.
You wanna
Are we
work on
gonna be
that?
able to discuss them at some time?
Well, when we
When we put them all together,
Get
which
them all
ones we're
together,
doing, then
and
we'll
then
have the discussion.
we'll have to discuss financing it and who's going to do it and all that. Paint curbs, that can be done, cleanup. We did it last year during cleanup.
So that
If
should be,
there's not
that
enough
should be a
people,
project.
though,
It's a project.
it should almost be its own project because it is rather time consuming.
Yeah.
And if we're trying to do cleanup at the same time and we only have 3
Doesn't
people,
work.
it's not gonna work. So it should maybe be a separate project.
Okay, that'll be separate. Okay, Western Mine Road Patrol. I don't know what the hell that is.
That was the gentleman that was
That
having.
had the hookers up there?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, well, since we have the sheriff here, we have
I've already
local
talked with
hookers.
Hector, and I brought up the concerns that were brought up, and
Yeah. So it's under control?
I don't know if it's under control, I don't know if it was out of control, but,
That reminds me, can I ask a question real quick?
Hang on.
I brought the issue up to Hector, and Hector said they would help us out.
One of the residents on Western Mine Road was interested in doing a community, what is it, we put the sign?
Community watch?
Neighborhood
The
watch.
neighborhood watch,
I
yeah.
can give him the contact information with the
Okay.
person to do
But
that.
Western Mine Road Patrol, I think we ought to turn that over to the sheriff.
Yeah.
Or have them make a
Well, I
neighborhood
would-
watch.
Have him
ledger.
report each month on it for the next. We had a guy here, bring the sheriff up to date, we had a guy here that was complaining that there were hookers working up on top of Western Mine Road.
And so some of the other things, some other.
Exactly.
But anyways, okay.
So a neighborhood watch,
If he says so, I would believe it. He lives there.
maybe what we can do is I can give information to someone on Western Mine Road and they can create a neighborhood watch.
Well, I talked to
Yeah.
Vizio's and they don't know what we're talking about.
Okay.
They've been
So
there
I
since
will write that.
1835.
Does anybody know what the name is of that citizen who brought
It was
this up?
Hector.
He only came one
And
time.
how we could contact him?
Number 7, solar plant and senior center parking lot.
Pictures or something?
No.
I say
Just-
that
what
would
was
be
that
a
again?
county thing.
That's
Solar
county.
plant?
What is it?
Solar plant in the senior center.
How did that
Making,
get?
Oh, that is being addressed at the county level. I don't know when that project has happened, but it has been brought up by,
You mean
actually
the
Lars
shade-
brought it up.
The shade structure?
Yes,
for the parking lot?
we are relooking at those opportunities at the county level, and it will be, obviously not going to be this year, but it is being discussed again.
Sir, Mr.
Yes.
Supervisor, you ought to also consider redoing the parking lot. Right now, it is, the Ranger Battalion in Fort Benning, Georgia would have a hard time getting through it when it's raining. Have you looked at that parking lot for our senior center? It's.
Are you talking about the paving part of it?
No,
or
I'm talking about the curbs and the difference in elevations and.
I have brought that up to Lars already. It's been an issue. It's brought up to me by the senior center. We're looking how to even,
Oh,
to,
great.
to work on some things.
Great.
So that's already been brought up, and it's been brought up with public services. So
Thank you.
Okay. next.
Crosswalks in Middletown have push buttons to activate flashing lights.
Absolutely should be a
Yes.
project.
I brought that up. I will
Yes.
update you on that. I am on the South Deal Committee with
That's gonna
Caltrans
have to
and
go-
Congress Thompson. I will bring that up
That's it.
this month. Next week, the 15th, I'll be at the meeting. That will be one of the issues that I'm talking to them about, and also 175 and the other projects that are going on.
Flashing
So I will
lights
be
for
bringing that
traffic
up.
calming at entrances to Middletown.
I think that, are you gonna talk about that too?
I will ask them about that issue also. We have
cleaned up
tried
the
for many
planning
years, and they
process
say
on
there's not enough, but I will bring that up
They
again.
say there's not enough what?
Not enough traffic
Yeah.
problems. So hey, this is not me talking. I'm gonna pass the messages on, and I'm gonna bring up the issues from the board.
Chase some of the hookers out in traffic. and that'll-
Yeah, there you go. That'll slow everybody down. eh?
So we're working on that.
Okay, so what do we got?
We got
Last one.
Okay.
1, 2, 3,
Wait, what
4,
about
5.
10? You didn't say 10.
No, that's already
Ten.
done.
It's already been done.
Oh, okay.
We have 1,
First one to
2,
go.
3, 4, 5.
And planning.
That's plenty of projects
That's
for
plenty
us.
of projects.
How many?
Yeah, front.
Five.
we are
Valley
not-
Fire,
That's all.
Arch in Middletown, pink curbs, crosswalks, and flashing lights. The 8 and 10, 8 and 9 will be handled by MOC, and solar plant will also be handled by MOC. And
By the-
it's
by the
got to be a
Public
county.
Services, yeah.
I have a question for Mo. Mo,
Yes.
would it be helpful to have Matt do some kind of a letter regarding the need for crosswalks and flashing lights to take with you? Would that help with Caltrans?
They already have a
If,
plan.
yeah, and if this is the list, I think that gets approved tonight, I think this will simply be enough for me to go with them. I'll be
Okay.
bringing that up on the 15th.
So I make a motion that we do the projects that Fletcher just read off.
5?
There are the Valley Fire Memorial, the Arch at the Middletown Square Park, paint the curbs, crosswalks in Middletown that have push buttons that activate flashing lights, and flashing lights for traffic calming at either end of coming into Middletown. Those are the 5 projects. So I make a motion that we accept those projects for this year.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? So be it.
I do have a question though. What's going on with the triangle? Did we ever figure out, is the
what?
county getting it? Are they not getting it? We're by the high school, that
It's a parking
triangle?
lot.
That's not being donated by Caltrans, or it is, or? we-
No, Caltrans, it's no longer Caltrans, it belongs to the county.
The county.
County's in control of it.
That little point?
Yeah, you know, we talked about making a little mini park there, but the county is not gonna talk to us about it at this point, because they don't have any money to do anything with it.
Wow.
So,
A little
all
bit
right.
cash grab, to be very honest.
Yeah, that one little piece, yeah.
That's what he said. With that,
Agenda items.
agenda items for next month. Anybody got any that we haven't discussed so far?
We just had something on the agenda a minute ago,
Yeah.
Facebook.
The Facebook.
And then,
And do we need to make it an action item for those 5 points that we want to do for courtesy, or do I just bring them?
no,
for
you
next
should,
time.
you want to have discussion next time, so you need to make them an action item, so we get it all done, right?
Well, we
Project.
did
Project.
discussion.
Project good?
No,
Each
I'm
end has
talking
a-
about conduct during meetings.
Oh.
Agreements.
The agreement, yes, that's on there too.
To vote on, or should I just bring them typed out for everybody?
And they should be here, and it should be approved.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, so we need that as an action item when you're asking for things on the
Right.
agenda.
Anything else? All righty, with that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you all for coming, and I'm sorry I'll miss it. Next month you got Linda, if she's on time.